Hello, welcome everyone on our YouTube channel Civil Junction. In this video, we are going to solve the question paper of Odisha Mining Corporation Limited OMC JV, which was held on 23rd January 2024. In this video, we will see each and every question with their proper concept with detailed explanation. So, throughout the video, you can learn different concepts about these questions. Before starting this solution of the paper, here is some announcement which will beneficial for students who are preparing for Odisha JEE examinations. Okay, so 1 second. If you are preparing for Odisha JEE examination, so you can go and join this test series with only 1 rupees prize. The link of the app will be given in the description box, so you can check out from there. In this, 60 total number of tests are included with reasoning, computer awareness, arithmetic, data interpretation, current affairs and full length test. So you can go and check out in the description. And the most important thing about this paper solution, you can go and check out description. The PDF will be available on the description box. Okay. Now proceeding in next the questions. First question, in the structural analysis, what does eccentric loading refers to? In this question, asking about the eccentric loading. Okay. Options are given: load applied of the center line of the structure, concentrated point load, torsional loading, uniformly distributed load. Okay. If we are talking about the loads in the structural analysis, you can see here is a structural element that is called column, and here the load is acting at the center line of the structure. If the load is acting on the center line of the structure, this load will called as concentric load. And this concentric load will produce either compression, either tension. If this load is acting towards the structure, this load will produce compression, and if it outwards to this structure, if this will be like that, that will cause tension. Okay. But if this load is not passing through the center line of the structure, load is acting from the some distance of this center line of the structure, then this load will called as eccentric load. Okay. This will called as, this load will cause as eccentric load. Okay. And this eccentric load is far away from the center, and this distance is E, which will call eccentricity, and this eccentric load will produce compression or tension, with bending also, So this will produce a combined effect of bending stress as well as tension or compression. Okay. So in our question, the eccentric loads refer to load applied of the center of the structure. So option A will be correct. Now proceeding on next question. What is the primary source of transportation related noise pollution? In this question, asking about what are the sources of the noise pollution which produced by the transportation. Okay. Options are given: construction sites, aircraft, industrial machinery, wind turbines. If we are talking about the noise pollution, what is the noise pollution? Noise pollution is also called as sound pollution. If the level of noise, if the range of or level of the noise is at that level which impact the activity of human life and cause some adverse effect, this noise produces the pollution, and this pollution is called as noise pollution. If you are talking about transportation related noise pollution, then it will produced by either aircraft, traffic on the roads, or highway, railway. So these are the sources of transportation which is related to noise pollution. Okay, so our correct option will be aircraft. Now proceeding on next question. Next question, what does a circular blue road sign with a white symbol indicate to driver? In this question asking about there is a circular blue road sign symbol which have white symbol. Okay, what this symbol will indicate to a driver? Yield, warning, mandatory action, stop. If you are talking about the classification of traffic signs, why traffic signs are provided? Traffic signs are provided on the routes for the transportation which will be safe from the accidents and smooth transition will be done. Okay, so there are different traffic signs provided. These are first regulatory signs or mandatory signs. If you are talking about the regulatory sign or mandatory sign, these signs are provided to inform the drivers about the mandatory rules and regulations that must be followed by them. Okay, if talking about the shape of these signs, so shape will be typically black symbol or arrow or letter on white background, or circular with white symbol on a blue background. Okay, examples are stop signs, speed limit signs, no parking signs, yield signs, one way signs. Okay, 1 second. Okay, so these are signs you can see in this picture. Stop signs, speed limits, etc. These signs are mandatory signs. Okay, next we are talking about the warning signs. The warning signs also known as the cautionary signs. Okay, these signs are provided for the both drivers and pedestrian to give the idea about the hazardous or dangerous things what are in the way. Okay, so this is a most necessary precautions for both driver and pedestrian. If we will see the shape of these signs, so these are triangle with red border and yellow background or featuring black symbols or text. Examples are intersection warning signs, curve ahead signs, falling rock signs, slippery road signs, pedestrian crossing signs. Okay, you can see in this picture each and every signs are given. If you are talking about informatory signs, so these signs are provided on the roads to give the information about the route, direction, location, etc. for the driver. Okay, if you are talking about the shape, so these are usually rectangular with a blue background or white symbol or text. Examples are town name signs, exit signs, directional arrow, distance markers, rest area signs, etc. So you can analyze here. If you are talking about our question, so the signs which are circular blue road sign with a white symbol, so it will be a mandatory action or regulatory sign. Option C is correct. Now proceeding on next question. Next question is asking about Euler's equation of motion relates the rate of change of. This question is talking about the what is Euler equation and how it relates with the rate of change of. Options are given: velocity to the fluid viscosity, pressure to the fluid density, velocity to the fluid density, pressure to the fluid velocity. So if you are going to explain about the Euler's equation of the motion, this equation give the relation between the velocity, pressure and density of a moving fluid. This equation, Euler's equation, is based on Newton's second law of motion, which states if the external force is zero, linear momentum will be conserved. Equating the Euler's equation, what the Euler equation? Here dp upon rho plus g dz plus v dv equal to 0. This is Euler equation. If we integrate the Euler's equation, we will find the Bernoulli's equation. Okay, so if we will integrate, we will find Bernoulli equation. What is Bernoulli equation? So P upon after equating this, P upon rho g plus v square upon 2g plus z equal to 0. Okay, so equating Euler's equation, we find Bernoulli's equation. If we are talking about the assumptions in the Euler's equation, so fluid should be non-viscous, fluid should be homogeneous and incompressible, flow should be continuous, steady along with streamline, velocity of flow should be uniform over the section. Okay, if we are talking about the relations, so here we can see the relations pressure with density. So in this question, Euler's equation of motion relates the rate of change of pressure to the fluid density. Okay, so option B is correct for this question. Now proceeding on next question. In the soil compaction, what effect does increasing the moisture content have on the compaction curve in standard Proctor test up to the optimum moisture content? This question is asking about the what will be compaction curve in standard Proctor test if we will increasing the moisture content up to the optimum moisture content. Okay, so to assess the amount of compaction and water content in the field, the different types of compaction tests are performed in the laboratory. So these tests provide the relationship between the water content and dry density of the soil. Okay, so at the water content at which the amount of water content at which maximum dry density is achieved, this is provide the relation between the density and maximum dry density. So that water content will be called as optimum moisture content, where maximum dry density will achieve. Okay, there are different tests are provided to obtain this. Here is standard Proctor test. If you're talking about standard Proctor test, so specifications are given in the IS 2770 part 7. Okay, these are the specifications. The mold recommended is 100 mm diameter, 27.3 mm height and 1000 ml capacity. Okay, if for compacting rammers are used, so rammer recommended is 2.6 kg mass with free drop of 310 mm and face diameter of 50 mm. Okay, the soil is compacted in 3 number of layer. Okay, so this is a standard Proctor test performed. Okay, if you are talking about the compaction curve which is achieved from this test, so in this compaction curve we draw between the water content which will be on the x-axis and the dry density will be on y-axis. This is known as moisture density graph. Here we can see this graph. Here we can see this graph. If we are increasing water content, increasing water content, what will be happen? If we will increase the water content, the air which are trapped in the voids of the soil will remove and compaction will be easily happen. But after sometimes it will achieve maximum dry density when water is called as optimum moisture content. After optimum moisture content, if we will add more water, it will create lubrication between the particles and that will decrease the compaction. Here we can see in this curve. Okay, so in this question So in our question, I hope everything is clear for all of you. Okay, so when optimum moisture content is increased, it increases the dry unit weight of the soil until it reaches the optimum moisture content. Means up to the optimum moisture content, dry unit weight will increase, but after adding more moisture content, dry unit will be decreased. So option A is correct in this question. Now proceed on next question. In this question number 6, in the Macaulay method, what is the purpose of introducing the Fixsius movement? So in this question asking about why we produce Fixsius movement in the Macaulay method. Options are given: to simplify the Cousins calculation of slopes, to compute reaction at the supports, to handle the effect of discontinuities in loading, to account the eccentric loading. If you are talking about use of discontinuity function in Macaulay method, okay, so if you're talking about Macaulay's method, this method is improved form of double integration method. Okay, this method is also called as singularity function method. Okay, and this is helpful for the analysis of prismatic beams. This method can be used for discontinuous loading like concentrated loads, concentrated movement, and UDL. Okay, if you're talking about the Macaulay's method, okay, so this method will cut the section. In this method, we cut the section at the discontinuities. Okay, where the discontinuities in the beam, there we cut the section and analyze each part independently. And if apply this Fixsius movement at discontinuity points, it will be simple to analyze the movements on that part of the beam. So Macaulay method, in the Macaulay's method, we introduce Fixsius movement at the point of discontinuity to analyze the different loading conditions. Okay, after applying this, movements will be cancelled out and actual bending movement at a point simply achieved. Okay, so in this question, Macaulay method to handle the effect of discontinuities in the loading. Okay, now proceeding to the next question. What role do levees play in fluid management? Okay, so this is question about fluid management where levees are provided. What are the roles of the levees? Okay, increasing precipitation, enhancing groundwater recharge, preventing river bank overflow, channelizing river flow. Okay, if you are talking about flood, what is flood? So if in any area there is more than sufficient, if precipitation is occurring, there will be large overflow of water will be seen. Okay, if this water is large in after the heavy rainfalls, it will create flood. Okay, so this flood will cause dangerous for the human life, for the animals. So from the cautionary point of view, we provide some special management to and strategies to prevent the damage from this flood. This is called as flood management. And here are some flood control methods, which are flood control by construction dikes and flood walls. Here we can see this is called a dike or embankment. This is provided parallel to the this is the river flow water, and this is provided parallel to the river flow. And these levees are also called as dikes. These are other embankments which will resist these flows, and this is provided some distance from the river flow. Okay, it also prevent the river bank overflow in the condition if there is a heavy rainfall in the area. Okay, so this is a method. Next method, fluid control by construction of storage tanks and reservoir. So reservoir is formed by the dams. Okay, so dam structure, here we can see this is a dam. Dam is created to store and this reservoir will store the excess amount of rainfall. If there is excess amount of rainfall, the water will be stored in this reservoir and it will control that water to come outside in the populated area or where the developments are happened. So this is a method to control the flood. Next method is construction of diversion channels. So by constructing a branch channel to the main river, okay, we can divert the overflow. If there is excess amount of rainfall, the overflow of the river will be diverted in the other branch canals, which will also prevent the flood in that area. Okay. Next, flood control by construction of trusses. These trusses are used for the areas where there is not too much rainfall. It can created with the base width of 1.5 mm to 2 mm. These structures have the height of 15 cm to 20 cm. Okay, and these follow the contour ground, but it is not too much effective approach to control the flood. But in some areas it can control where the rainfall is not too intense. Okay, so in this our question, what is called a question, what role do levees play in the flood management? So levees play to prevent the river bank overflow. Now proceeding on next question. In the context of dam analysis, what type of loading occurs when the applied force does not pass through the centroid of the dam cross section? In this question asking about what will be happen if the loading is not passing through the centroid of dam cross section. Okay, so in dam analysis, if the loading is not passing through the centroid of the dam cross section, this will be called loading will be called as eccentric loading. The loading which is not act on the centroid of the dam, this load will be called as eccentric loading, and it will create additional direct compression or tension, which will create a turning effect in the dam. Okay, so our correct option is eccentric loading. Now proceeding on next question. What factors does the rational method use to estimate peak runoff? This question is asking about the rational method, and in the rational method, what are the components which are used to find out the peak runoff? Okay, so to find out the flood peak runoff, there are different methods available, which are first rational method. If you are talking about the rational method, in this method we can say this method is based on the principle of relationship between rainfall and runoff. Okay, and this is a empirical method where if TP is greater than, or TP means if you're talking about TP duration of, if duration of rainfall is greater than time of concentration, then this formula will be used, QP equal to 1 by 36 K into PC into A, where QP is peak discharge, PC is critical design rainfall in centimeter, A is area, K is coefficient of runoff. Okay. Also other methods are where Deacon's formula, which are given in 1865. Deacon's formula is used in only the central and northern parts of country, and here the formula QP equal to CD into A to the power 3 by 4, where QP is the flood peak discharge, A is the catchment area, and CD is the Deacon constant, which is between range, here the range of Deacon constant 6 to 30. Okay. Other method is Rimes formula. This formula is originally developed in the Tamil Nadu region and used in the Karnataka and Andhra parts. Okay, this formula is given by Rimes, QP equal to CR into A to the power 2 by 3, where CR is the Rimes constant. If 8.8 for the constant area with 80 km area, for the 18 km area it will be 8.8. For the area between 80 to 160 km it will be 8.5, and for the hilly area it will be taken as 10.2. Okay. Other method is English formula. So this formula is only applicable in the western Ghats of Maharashtra, and this formula is QP equal to 124A upon under root A plus 10.4, which is about 123 into under root A, where A is catchment area, QP is the peak discharge. So in the rational method, in the rational method, we use rainfall intensity to estimate the peak runoff. We can see here between rainfall and runoff. Okay, so option C is correct. Now proceeding on next question. Plaster of Paris is commonly used in medical applications for. So why we use plaster of Paris? Okay, for insulation, for waterproofing, for casting fracture, flooring. If you're talking about the plaster of Paris, so plaster of Paris is obtained by the heating the gypsum or sulfate dihydrate at 120 to 180 degrees Celsius. The chemical formula of plaster of Paris is CaSO4 into 1/2 H2O. Okay, it is also known as calcium sulfate hemihydrate. Okay, why we provide plaster of Paris? So it is provided because generally after shrinkage it will not, after dry it will not produce any crack or shrink. Okay, so we provide for the fractures, plaster works, cornices, we will provide plaster of Paris. Okay, so here medical application, the question is about medical application, so for the casting fractures. So option number C is correct. Now proceeding on next question. Students who are preparing for the Odisha JEE or any examination of Odisha for the civil engineering can purchase our book, which is Odisha Goli. In this book, total 20 number of papers are solved and covered with this explanation, which are given in this PDF. So you can buy this book. The contact and other details will be given in the description, where you can go and check out. Okay, proceeding on next question. What type of track is commonly used for high speed rail services due to its smooth profile and reduced noise level? Okay, this question is asking about in the high speed rail which type of tracks are provided which reduce the noise level and provide a smooth profile. Okay, options are given: slab track, girder track, blasted track, or wooden track. So what is track? Track is a permanent way which is consist of rails, sleeper, fitting and fastening, ballast and formation. This is called track. Okay, this is called track. There are different types of track, but if you're talking about the slab track, these tracks are provided. Slab tracks are provided for the high speed railways, which consists of rail pads, concrete slab, cement asphalt mortar layer, concrete base. So slab track. Okay, here is the picture of slab track. This is a slab track. Okay, this is the slab track. This slab track will provide the smooth motion with less noise. These are the slab tracks. Okay, and these tracks are supported on the viscoelastic foundation and will not create more noises. So in the high speed railways these tracks are provided. So our correct option will be slab track. Option A is correct. Now proceeding on next question. According to Bernoulli's equation, an increase in fluid speed is associated with decreasing. The question is saying in the Bernoulli equation, when there is fluid speed is increased, what will be effect in the decrement of these from these: temperature, elevation, pressure or density. What is Bernoulli equation? Okay, actually Bernoulli equation is based on the conservation of energy principle. This equation states that in steady ideal fluid of a incompressible fluid, the total energy at any point of the fluid is constant. This is a pipe. So in this pipe, if the fluid is incompressible and steady flow is happening, okay, so in this pipe, at any point, at each and every point, the energy will be constant. The total energy will be constant. Okay, and this is the formula. This is the Bernoulli equation. Okay, so in the fluid dynamics, Bernoulli's principle states that the when increases the fluid velocity, simultaneously static pressure will decrease. Okay, static pressure will be decreased. So here the speed is increasing, means pressure will decrease. So option C is correct. Now proceeding on next question. In structural engineering, what is the term used to describe the bending of a structural element under an applied load, typically measured in units of length? Okay, this question is asking about in these options, from these options, which is the term which is used to describe the bending of a structural element under application of load. So here we can see the deflection is the term which is used in the structural engineering to refer the bending of a structural element when applying the any load. So option D is correct. Now proceed on next question. How are the signals timing determined in the fixed time traffic signal? Okay, here the question is asking about the signal timing will be described in will be determined in the fixed time traffic signal from which method? Okay, options are given: based on real time traffic volume, manipulated by traffic engineer, through wireless communication, automatically by computer algorithms. Okay, there are different modes of operation for the traffic signal. Here is pre-timed or fixed operation. If you are talking about pre-timed or fixed operation, in this the timing of each phase of the cycle is fixed. Before fixing this timing, there are different traffic studies happen. Okay, and in this method signal times does not change with respect to traffic flow. The signal timing is determined manually by the traffic engineers. Okay, next is actuated signals. In this type of signal, there are detectors, sensors are provided to operate the signals, and this is costlier than other signal system. In this, the signal timing is completely influenced by the traffic volume, and it is computed by the sensors and detectors. Okay, other is semi-actuated signal. This is the combination of both signals. Okay, in this, signals timings are affected by the vehicles which are detected. Okay, so in this question, so traffic signal in the fixed time traffic signal, the signal time will be determined manually by the traffic engineer. So option B will be correct. Now proceeding on next question. In hydraulic pumps, what is meant by the term total head? The question is about total head. What is total head in hydraulic pump? Okay, so total head in the hydraulic pump, this term is referred when the fluid or water or liquid is imparted by the pump, their energy will be gained, and this energy will be the combination of both pressure head and elevation head. Okay, so in the total head is referred to the sum of elevation head and pressure head. Option B is correct. Now proceeding on next question. What is the primary effect of increasing the depth of foundation below the ground surface on the ultimate bearing capacity of a cohesive soil, assuming no other change in the soil properties or conditions? Okay, so in this question asking about what will be the effect if we will increase the depth of foundation for a cohesive soil, what will be effect on the ultimate bearing capacity of soil if there will be not any other changes in soil properties or condition. Okay, so this is the ultimate bearing capacity of soil, which is based on Terzaghis theory. Okay, so this is the formula: Q equal to C into NC plus gamma into DF into NQ plus 0.5 B into gamma into NY, where NC, NQ, NY are the bearing capacity factors, okay, which are dependent on the angle of friction in the soil. C is the cohesion of soil, gamma is unit weight of soil. Now we are talking about the cohesive soil like a clay, where the value of NC is 5.67, NQ equal to 1 and NY equal to 0. We will find Q equal to 5.7 C plus Q or 5.7 C plus gamma DF. Here we can see if gamma df will increase, gamma df will be increased, okay, so qv u also will increase, means ultimate bearing capacity of footing will be increased with the depth increase. So when depth will increase, overburden of the soil will increase also, then in this condition the ultimate bearing capacity will be affected and this will be also increases, okay. So correct option is C, the ultimate bearing capacity significantly increases due to the overburden pressure. Now proceeding on next question. Which of the following characteristics categorized as waste as hazardous? In this question asking which of from these options, which are the parameters on the basis of we categorize waste as a hazardous waste? Options are radioactivity, biodegradability, recyclability and compressibility. So when we classify a waste as a hazardous waste, there is a parameter which is called radioactivity. Radioactivity is the parameter we categorize the waste as a hazardous waste, and this is the parameter which is harmful for the human health as well as environment, okay. So the parameter is radioactivity, so option A is correct. Now proceeding on next question. When measuring angles in compass surveying, what is the purpose of a vernier scale? Okay, this question is asking about what is the use of vernier scale in compass surveying. Options are given: to increase the instrument's precision, to set the instrument level, to estimate magnetic declination, to measure horizontal distances. What is compass surveying? Okay, so compass surveying is the branch of surveying in which we measure angular measurement by the compass and the linear measurement will be measured by the chain or tape. In vernier scale, a vernier scale in the compass surveying is provided to enhance the precision of the angle measurement, okay. So it will give the accurate reading by providing the finer subdivisions of the main scale. This is required for the more details and accuracy in the work, okay. So this is provided to increase the instrument's precision. Option A is correct. Now proceeding on next question. What is the role of air entering agent in the design of concrete mix of road pavements? So this question is asking what will be the effect of air entering agents in the design of concrete mix for the road pavement. Options are given: increase compressive strength, enhance freeze thaw resistance, reduce shrinkage, improve workability. If you are talking about air entering admixtures or air entering agents, so these are the admixtures which will develop a system of microscopic air bubbles in the concrete after the mixing, and this will improve the property of the concrete to resist the freezing and thawing. What is freezing and thawing? So if the concrete is permeable, some waters are entrapped, some water will be entrapped in the voids, and in the cold environment or in the winters, this water will defreeze, and after the freezing this water, the volume will increase and this will create some cracks in the structure, okay. And if you're talking about the air tightening agents, so these are the examples: wood resins, synthetic detergents of the alkali sulfonate type, calcium linosulfate. These are the air entering agents which are used in the concrete, okay. So why we are providing? So we are providing to enhance the freezing and thawing resistance in the pavement road. So option B will be correct. Now proceeding on next question. Which of the following is an example of convective precipitation? Okay, so question is asking about the example of convective precipitation. Options are given: thunderstorm, coastal lifting, warm front lifting, orographic lifting. If you are talking about the cyclonic precipitations example, okay, so if you are talking about coastal lifting is related to cyclonic precipitation. This is related to orographic precipitation. This is related to frontal precipitation. And thunderstorm is related to convective precipitation. So correct option is thunderstorm. Okay. Now proceeding on next question. Darcy law is applicable to determine. So why we use Darcy law? Options are given: seepage velocity in saturated soils, capillarization in soils, cohesion of soil particles, consolidation settlements of clay soils. So Darcy law is a law which is used to analysis about the seepage velocity of saturated soils, and this law states velocity of flow through porous media is directly proportional to hydraulic gradient. Okay, in the laminar flow conditions, means V is directly proportional to I. So V equal to Ki, where K is permeability coefficient. Okay, so this Darcy law gives the relation between the seepage velocity of soil to the gradient. Okay, hydraulic gradient. So in these questions, Darcy law is applicable to determine the seepage velocity in the saturated soil. Okay, so correct option is A. Now proceeding on next question. What is the primary purpose of the 3-screw method, also known as triangulation method in plane table surveying? So this question is asking about the triangulation method of plane table surveying. Okay, so there are different methods which are used in the plane table surveying. First is radiation method. If you are talking about the radiation method, okay, so radiation method gives the idea to how to setting out the plane. It gives the idea about setting up the plane table at one station. Okay, if you are talking about intersection or triangulation method, so this method is used to charting the specific maps. Okay, and this method gives the idea. This method gives to idea for leveling of plane table. Okay, leveling of plane table. Next, traversing method. So traversing method gives the idea how to. Okay, this gives the idea to using a plane table for the compass or theodolite. Okay, and this gives the idea about plotting the information on the sheet. Okay, resection method why use? So resection method gives the idea, or reception method is the purpose of resection method is to establish a new position, okay, of sighting or new position of location. So this technique is also known as orientation. Okay, so in this question asking what is the primary purpose of 3-screwed method? So primary purpose of this method is to label the plane table accurately. Okay, so option B is correct. Next question. In highway design, what is the purpose of a sag vertical curve? So question is asking about the sag vertical curve purpose. What is the purpose of a sag vertical curve in the highway design? Options are given: to improve drainage, to enhance aesthetic appeal, to counteract the effect of centrifugal force, transition between level and uphill sections. If you study about sag curve, so this is a type of horizontal curve which is provided to change the road profile from a downhill grade to an uphill grade. This is also known as a valley curve or vertical curve. The purpose of this curve is to ensure the smooth transition between the downhill and the uphill section of the road to ensure safety and comfort of the driver. Okay, so D option will be correct, transition between level and uphill sections. Now proceeding on next question. The pump efficiency is defined as the ratio of. What is the pump efficiency? So pump efficiency is defined as the ratio of the output from the pump to the input from the pump. So option B will be correct. Option B will be correct. Pump output to the pump input. Now proceeding on next question. When approaching an intersection, you see a white line with a series of triangles pointing towards you, also known as shark's teeth, marking what is intended instruction for the driver. So in this question asking why we provide shark teeth on the intersections. So this shark, one second, this is called shark teeth. Okay, this is called as shark teeth. These triangles and these are called as shark teeth, and these are provided, these markings are provided to inform a driver about to stop and pass the vehicles which are already on the intersection of the road. So allow them to pass, and after that you will pass from the traffic. Okay, so this is provided if their vehicles are already on the intersecting point. You must allow them to proceed before entering the intersection yourself. So this is provided for this region. Okay, so correct option will be to yield to all traffic of the intersection road before proceeding. Okay, so option A is correct. Now proceeding on next question. Which river is associated with the Bhakhra Nangal Dam of the major irrigation project in India? So Bhakhra Nangal Dam is constructed on the which river? So Bhakhra Nangal Dam is constructed on the Satluj river, and Bhakhra Nangal Dam is a concrete gravity dam. Okay, and it is constructed on the Satluj river in Bilaspur, Himachal Pradesh in northern India. So correct option is D. Now proceeding on next question. In detailed cost estimate, what is the significance of term contingencies? So this is question. This question is asking about the contingencies. What is contingencies? Okay. So contingency is this is a unforeseen. Okay. This is unforeseen expenditure expenses. These are the unforeseen expenses or accidental expenses which will be not predict during the preparation of the estimate. So in the estimate we will take contingencies 3 to 5% of the total cost of the estimate. Okay, so this is unforeseen event and risk. So option C is correct. Now proceeding on next question. When setting a curve using tachymetry, what is the purpose of a theodolite? So in this question asking, in the tachymetry, when we are setting a curve, what is the purpose of a theodolite? Options are given: to measure distance, to set the curve radius, to measure vertical angles. Theodolite is not used in tachymetry. Okay, so in the tachymetry surveying, so tachymetry surveying is the method of angular surveying in which tachymeter is used to determine the tachymeter measure the horizontal and vertical distance between 2 points, and the theodolite is used to measure the horizontal and vertical angles during the process of setting a curve. So this in this method there is no need of the chain or tape to measure the horizontal and vertical distances. These horizontal and vertical distances are measured by the tachymeter. Okay, and the accuracy of this surveying technique is ranges from 1 by 1000 to 1 by 1 lakh 10,000. Okay, so these are two instruments which are used in the tachymetric survey. One is tachymeter. So if you study about tachymeter, so tachymeter is a transit theodolite fitted with stadia. One is upper stadia and other is lower stadia. Okay, and stadia rod is provided. This is stadia rod. This is stadia rod. It is provided. Okay, for the measuring the vertical heights. Okay, and the height of the stadia rods are 3 to 5 meter, and width range is from 50 to 150 mm. Okay, so why we use theodolite in the tachymetry? So theodolite is used in tachymetry to measure vertical angles. So option C is correct. Now proceeding on next question. In seepage through soil, quicksand condition occurs when? Question asking when the seepage in the soil occurs, when will quicksand condition will be happened. So options are the pore water pressure is high, the pore water pressure is low, the seepage velocity is high, the seepage velocity is low. If you are talking about quicksand condition, so it is the process in which the soil particles are lifted over the soil mass, and this is also called the boiling of the sand, because on the surface of the earth sand will look like a boiling. Okay, so this is the phenomena is quicksand condition. At quicksand condition, net effective stress reduced to zero. This is occur when the seepage pore water pressure is high. Pore water pressure is high. Okay, so the pore water in seepage through soil, quicksand condition occur when the pore water pressure is high. So option A is correct for this question. Now proceeding next question. In turbulent flow through pipes, how does the major head loss vary with increasing pipe roughness? Okay, so question is asking in the turbulent flow, how will be the major head loss vary with increase in pipe roughness? Okay, so what options are given? Increase linearly, remains constant, decrease exponentially, increase non-linearly. Okay, what is turbulent flow? So when the flow of fluid particles is going randomly, this is randomly, flow is randomly, this is called a turbulent flow, and there the intermixing of the fluid particles happening. So in the turbulent flow there are losses occur. Okay, and these losses are more than a laminar flow. Okay, so if the pipe roughness increases, friction between fluid particles will also be increased, and that will lead to the loss of energy, and this is clarified by the Moody diagram. In the Moody diagrams we will see here, when in the turbulent flow, when the roughness is increasing, this will be create a non-linear head loss, non-linearly. Okay, so this will be non-linear. So option will be correct, will be increases non-linearly. It will increase non-linearly. Okay, now proceeding on next question. Which of the following is a key component in the composition of paint? Pigments, sands, water, cement. So this question is asking about what in this of the options, what is the main composition of the paint. So sand is not a composition of paint, water is not main composition of paint, cement is not composition of paint. So pigment is the composition of paint, which provide the color in the paint and also improve the aesthetic effect of the paint. Okay, so correct option is A. Now proceeding on next question. The process of seasoning timbers involves removing moisture to improve stability, accelerating the growth rate of trees, treating with preservatives to resist insects, adding moisture, increase flexibility. Okay, if you are talking about seasoning of the timber, what is seasoning of timber? Seasoning is the process which reduce the moisture of the timber to order to prevent from the fungi and other impacts, and this seasoning will increase the strength and durability, workability and resilience of the timber, reduce the shrinkage and warping after placement in structure, reduce the chance of possible fermentation and increase resistance against attack by insects, and it also reduce the weight and it makes suitable for the painting. Okay, there are different methods of the seasoning. Natural method, in this method the timber will be taken outside and air and water will season. The moisture will be soaked by the air or temperature. So there is natural seasoning there will be also artificial seasoning. In the artificial seasoning, there are boiling seasoning, chemical seasoning, electrical seasoning, and kiln seasoning. So in this, our question, the process of seasoning timber involves to remove the moisture to improve stability. So option A is correct. Now proceeding on next question. In leveling, what is the purpose of contour lines on topographic map? So what is the purpose of a contour line? So contour line, what is contour line? Contour line is the imaginary line which join the equal elevations points on the ground surface. On the topographical map, these contour lines indicate the change in elevation. Okay, so what this contour line indicate? So to indicate change in elevation. So option number C is correct for this question. Okay. Now proceeding on next question. What does salvage value represent in the context of the valuation of the structure? So in the valuation of the structure, salvage value, okay, salvage value is the value of the material recovered after the demolition of the structure. Okay, so what is the solution? What is the salvage value? Initial construction, no. Value of material recovered after the demolition. So option number C is correct for this question. Now proceed on next question. For foundations, only clay soils, the allowable bearing capacity is usually reduced due to. So the question is asking about the allowable bearing capacity for clay will reduce due to which? Increased cohesion, permeability of clay, high angle of internal friction, or consolidation settlement. In the clay soils, there will be a consolidation settlement will occur, and that consolidation settlement will reduce the bearing capacity, allowable bearing capacity of soil. So correct option will be option number D. Now proceed on the next question. Which air pollutant is responsible for the formation of acid rain? So this question is related to acid formation. So there are different pollutants which are available in our atmosphere. So there are options: volatile organic compounds, sulfur dioxide. Which pollutant is the responsible for the formation of acid rain? So what is acid rain? Okay, so acid rain is caused by the oxides of sulfur and nitrogen. Acid rain result when the sulfur dioxide and nitrogen are, just think, the sulfur dioxide and nitrogens are the pollutants which are produced by the different vehicles, other pollutants. So these oxides emptied into the atmosphere, and they will travel by the wind and air, and these sulfur dioxides and nitrogen oxide will react with the oxygen which is available in the environment, in the atmosphere, and they will create sulfuric acid and nitric acid, and the rain will be acidic rain. So here the correct option will be sulfur dioxide. Now proceeding on next question. What is the main objective of waste minimization strategy? So there is a term that is called 3R. 3R. One is used for reduce, next is reuse, and other is recycle. So reducing the production of the waste is the main strategy to minimize the waste generation. Okay, so correct option will be reduced waste generation. Now proceeding on next question. Which leveling instrument is commonly used for measure height differences between 2 points? So options are given. So this question is related from the following options. Which instrument is used to measure height difference, means elevations between 2 points? So dumpy level. Yes, dumpy level is that instrument in surveying which is used to measure the elevation between 2 points. So correct option will be dumpy level. What is total elevation? So see the figure, that is a dumpy level. Okay, that is dumpy level. This is used to determine relative elevation of different points in surveying. Okay, what is total station? So total station, that this is total station. This instrument is used to measure horizontal angles, vertical angles as well as distance. Okay, what is theodolite? This is theodolite, and theodolite is used to measure horizontal and vertical angles. Okay, elided, this is elided, and elided is used to determine direction of the object. Okay, so in the plane table surveying, so the correct option for the height difference measurement is dumpy level. Option number A is correct. Now proceed on next question. What is the primary objective of door-to-door collection in municipal solid waste management? So in the municipal solid waste management, door-to-door collection of the waste is the strategy to improve the segregation of the waste from the source. Okay, from the source we will conveniently separate the waste in the recyclable waste, compostable waste and hazardous waste. Okay, and after this process it will be easy to landfill or to decompose these types of waste. Okay, so correct option will be improving waste segregation at source. Now proceeding on next question. What does traffic volume refers to in traffic engineering? So what is the meaning of traffic volume in the traffic engineering? So traffic volume is defined as the procedure. It is the procedure which determines the volume of traffic which is passing at a particular time. Okay, at a particular time, at a particular section. It will be referred in the terms of days, minutes, hour. Okay, so the traffic volume is referred in traffic engineering to analyze the number of vehicles passing through a point within a specific time. So option number B is correct. Now proceeding to the next question. The Moody chart is used to determine. So why we use for which thing we are used to determine we use Moody chart? So in the fluid mechanics we already explained in the previous question. The Moody chart or Moody diagram is a graphical representation of 9-dimensional form of Darcy-Weisbach friction factor, Reynolds number and surface roughness. It is used to determine the Darcy friction factor. Okay, so option number C will be correct. Now proceeding on next question. Which method of irrigation involves the movement of water by gravity across the field surface? So this question is asking in which irrigation method the water is provided to the field by the gravity action. So options are given: surface, subsurface irrigation, drip irrigation and sprinkle irrigation. So here is the classification of irrigation. Okay, irrigation is classified in surface irrigation and subsurface irrigation. Surface irrigation is further classified in flow irrigation and lift irrigation, and subsurface is classified in natural and artificial. Flow irrigation is further classified in fluid irrigation and perennial irrigation. If we are talking about subsurface irrigation, so subsurface irrigation is classified into another two ways: lift irrigation and flow irrigation. Surface irrigation is that irrigation which provide water on the surface of the field. When the ground level is upper than the water level, their lift irrigation will be proceed. In the lift irrigation as well, it is provided where the well irrigation is also a lift irrigation, where water source of water is lower than the field. In the flow irrigation, the water is provided to the field by the action of gravity. Okay, in this type of irrigation, the water is available at the higher level and the field is at the lower level. So the water will be flow through the gravity in the field. So here is the question: which method of the irrigation involves the movement of? So in the surface irrigation, movement of water will be held by gravity in the field. Okay, now proceeding on next question. Which element of highway alignment is responsible for ensuring smooth vehicle transition between tangent and curves? Okay, so question is asking, in the element of highway, in the highway alignment, which curve is responsible for ensuring the smooth vehicle transition between tangents and curve? So options are given: super elevation curve, vertical curve, side distance curve, and horizontal transition curve. So what is transition curve? Transition curve is a plan which provided to change the horizontal alignment from straight to circular. This is a transition. Why we provide this transition? This transition is provided for gradual introduction of centrifugal force, to introduce super elevation gradually, to introduce extra widening, to provide comfort for the driver, that is enabled smooth vehicle operation on the road, to enhance aesthetic of highways. So this is provided for the ensuring smooth vehicle transition on the road. So correct option will be horizontal transition curve. Now proceeding on next question. What is the primary advantage of using cross-laminated plywood in construction? So why we use cross-laminated plywood in the construction? So cross-laminated timbers or plywoods are used because their strength and stability is higher. Okay, their versatility is good for the we can use for the wall, for the floor, roofs, different things we can use, so it is versatile. Next, fabrication. So this is used as a fabricated material in the construction. This is a higher fire resistance. There are environmental benefits of using CLT, because in the CLT there is not any use of gum and other chemicals. So in this question, what is the primary advantage? A, increase susceptibility of moisture. No. Next option, reduce strength. No, it increase the strength, so reduce not will be. Higher cost, not lower cost. Uniform in all directions. So this is correct option. Now proceeding on next question. Which of the following is a sedimentary building stone? So here we can see the classification of rocks. The rocks are classified in the geological classification, physical classification, and chemical classification. In the geological classification, we classify the rocks in three types: sedimentary rock, igneous rock, metamorphic rock. What is sedimentary rock? So sedimentary rock is formed by the deposition of sediment by the weathering of pre-existing rock, and these sediments will transported by the water, by the wind, frost or gravity, and that will be deposit, and it will be form a layers of structure, and the rocks will be formed. So, and the example is sandstone, limestone, lignite, etc. If you are talking about igneous rocks, so igneous rocks are formed by the solidification of magma below the earth surface. Okay, and the example of igneous rocks are granite, dolerite, basalt, etc. If you are talking about metamorphic rocks, so metamorphic rocks are those rocks which are formed by the metamorphism process. In this process, the chemical property also changed. Okay, so these are the examples: slate, gneiss, schist, marble. These are the metamorphic rocks. So correct option for the metamorphic sedimentary rock will be sandstone. So option number B is correct. Now proceeding on next question. What is the primary factor that influences the shear strength of soil according to Mohr's Coulomb criterion? So which is the primary factor which influence the shear strength of soil by the Mohr-Coulomb's failure criterion? Options are given: permeability of soil, grain size distribution, effective stress, porosity of soil. Okay, if you are talking about the Shear strength of soil. What is the shear strength of soil? So shear strength of soil is the capacity of soil to resist the shearing stresses, and the Mohr's Coulomb criteria gives the formula for the shear stress, tau equal to C plus sigma dash into tan phi, where tau is the shear stress on the failure plane, C is the cohesion, sigma dash is the effective stress, and phi is the angle of internal friction. So from this equation we analyze the Mohr-Coulomb criteria give the shear strength which is affected by the cohesion. Shear stress is affected by the cohesion, is affected by the effective stress and internal friction. Okay, internal angle friction. So here correct option will be effective stress. So option number C is correct. Now proceed on next question. What is the primary purpose of estimating in civil engineering projects? So why we estimate the civil engineering projects? This is question. So options are given: determining project aesthetics, no; calculating project timelines, no; finalizing project design; assessing project feasibility. So we use the estimation of civil engineering project to assessing the project feasibility. So correct option will be D. Now proceeding on next question. In property valuation, which method considers the cost of constructing a new building with similar utility and subtract the depreciation to determine the property's value? So in the valuation, if we subtract the depreciation to determine the property's value into the cost of construction, so this will be used in the cost method. So in the cost method we subtract the depreciation value from the cost of the construction of new building. So this is cost method. Option C is correct. Now proceed on next question. What is the primary purpose of a water distribution system? So water distribution system is provided to convey the potable water to the population for their need and for their helping their health issues. So this is provided to supply the potable water. Okay. Now proceeding next question. What is the standard unit of measurement of rate of flow? Okay. What is the rate of flow? So rate of flow is the rate of flow? So rate of flow is the volume of fluid passing through a cross section at each second. This is called rate of flow, and this is given by Q equal to V into A, and the unit of rate of flow is meter cube per second. So correct option will be cubic meter per second. So option D will be correct. Now proceeding on next question. Which type of error is introduced when the chain is not held horizontally? So when the chain is not held horizontally, there will be sag. So this will be, and this will also a cumulative error. Sag is also a cumulative error. So both options are correct, sag error and cumulative errors. So these options are not correct for this question. Now proceeding on next question. What structural feature distinguishes a continuous beam from a simply supported beam? So how we will analyze this is a continuous beam or this is the simply supported beam? In simply supported beam, you can see in the simply supported beam, these two supports are given, but in the continuous beam, the number of supports in the continuous beam, the number of supports vary. In the continuous beam, the number of supports varies. So correct option will be number of supports. Now proceeding on next question. In nominal mix M25 grade concrete, what is the approximate ratio of cement to sand to coarse aggregate? For M25 grade concrete, here we can see for M10 1:3:6, for M15 1:2:4, for M21 ratio 1.5:3, and 125 1:1:2. So correct option will be du. Now proceeding on next question. Which type of estimate is prepared based on minimal information, usually at the initial stage of project? So in the initial stage of project where minimal information are given, so the prepared estimate is called as the approximate estimate or rough estimate. So the correct option will be B. Now proceeding on next question. What factor primarily determine the design speed of highway? So how determine the design speed of highway? Options are given: site distance requirement, traffic volume, roadway width, roadside development. So to find the design speed of highway, primarily we determine the site distance requirement. Site distance requirement will give the idea of the how much distance will between the drivers to react. So correct option will be option A, site distance requirement. Now proceeding on next question. What information is essential to determine the constants of integration when applying the double integration method for slope and deflection? So for double integration of slope and deflection, what the information is essential? Options are given: material properties, support reactions, boundary conditions, applied load. So method of double integration is used for deflection by double integration, and it is referred as a direct or indirect constant integration. So in this method we analyze the boundary condition to determine the constant of integration. So boundary conditions are required to determine the slope and deflection in the method of double integration. So correct option will be boundary conditions. So option C will be correct. Now proceed on next question. Which of the following is not a method to correct for local attraction in compass surveying? Okay, so these are options: applying correction angle, yes, this is needed to correct the local attraction. Adjusting the magnetic needle, no, we can't change the basic structure of the compass, so magnetic needle cannot be adjusted. Reversing the compass. So reversing the compass is the process in which we correct the local attraction in the compass surveying. So this option is correct. Shifting the compass is, so in this question there are two options which are not used for the correction of local attraction. So this question is also wrong, not correct question. Now proceeding on next question. In the context of irrigation, what is the primary purpose of Bandra? So in the context of irrigation, the purpose of Bandra is the water storage, to store the water. So correct option will be water storage. Now proceeding on next question. To setting time, the setting time of Portland cement can be prolonged by the addition of two. So for the prolonged the setting time of the cement, in the Portland cement we add gypsum, and gypsum is a agent which slow down the setting time of the cement. The chemical formula of gypsum is CaSO4 into 2H2O. Okay, and it controls the rate of hardening of the cement. So correct option will be gypsum. Now proceeding next and last question. In fluid dynamics, what term is used to describe the imaginary line that represent the path of fluid particles in steady flow? So in the steady flow, there is an imaginary line called streamline which represent the path of flow of the fluid particles. So correct option will be streamline. So option C will be correct. So in this lecture, we discussed about all the questions which are asked in your examination. If this video is helpful for all of you, so go and share this video. If you are not subscribed our channel, so subscribe, and you can buy this book for the preparation of Odisha JEE examination. Okay, thank you everyone.